I'm pretty sure by now you may have heard of the UFC's Power Slap League. It's a slap fighting league that Dana White and the people at UFC are pushing and promoting. It's supposed to be making its debut coming up soon, but that is being postponed because you may have also seen this past week a video leaked by TMZ of Dana White, president of the UFC, for those of you who may not know, slapping his wife. Now, in the video, you can see her. She slaps him first. She's a little woman. And then he smacks her back a couple times. Obviously, that type of domestic violence and domestic abuse is unwarranted. It's frowned upon, and it's just overall bad behavior. There's no excuse for it, but that's not what this video is about. The ironic thing is that it's a fact. The internet is undefeated. And of course, immediately there were memes and everybody talking about how the first fight in the Power Slap League is Dana White versus his wife, Ann White. And it's a funny joke because this incident occurred just, mere weeks before the debut of the Power Slap League. So he and his wife get into a slap fight. Well, they slap each other in a domestic situation while on vacation, I believe down in Mexico somewhere. And of course, that's a funny segue into the joke of them being the first two competitors in the new Power Slap League. What I think is even more ridiculous than that story is the league itself. Now, and the people promoting it, Dana White, the president of the UFC, has done great things over the last 20 years to take the UFC from what was being called basically human cockfighting. It was illegal in many states. It was almost that UFC almost failed to exist after its initial debut because it was just too brutal, too violent. Dana White, his team, turned it all around and made it into one of the biggest sports, MMA. They made it into one of the biggest, most recognizable sports in the world. And it's mixed martial arts, as you know, is filled with all different disciplines, styles. I mean, it's evolved into a style of its own, and it's a legitimate competitive fighting style. Now, slap fighting, on the other hand, two competitors sit across a table from one another, similar to arm wrestling, and one will put his hands behind his back, he or she. There's women in slap fighting as well. One competitor will hold a bar behind their back to ensure that they're not going to move their arms and stand there with their face wide open while their opponent takes their hand, open hand palm strike, and smacks them upside the face. You just sit there and you wait for it. That is the least skilled thing you can do. It is in complete juxtaposition of the skill of a sport like mixed martial arts. To sit there and wait for someone to essentially palm strike you upside your jaw is it's just insanity. It's not smart. It's not skillful. It's just, I don't see the appeal to it. People like myself, and trust me, go on the internet, read the comments. I don't know who this is for, because generally people who watch sports like mixed martial arts or boxing or kickboxing, they're in it for the overall skill set of the fighters. The elusiveness, combat sports, boxing, MMA, it's hit and don't get hit. You don't want to just sit there with your face and your jaw up in the air waiting for someone to crack you upside the head and hope you don't get knocked out. And then, you get up and then you return fire. It's the most ignorant sport I've ever heard of. And because Dana White and his wife, I guess, wanted to give the world a sneak preview via a leaked video through TMZ, now the Power Slap Fighting League debut on TBS cable television network has been postponed. And I'm glad, because I don't know who in the world who actually watches UFC wants to watch two dumbasses sit there and allow each other to be smacked upside the head. It's not like the slap that Dana White's wife hit him with before he retaliated. It's a full-on freaking palm strike, you know, to the face. That's like getting punched, pretty much. I'm no expert. I just call it how I see it, and what I see is that power slap shit is dumb. So I hope it gets canceled before it gets started. Thank you for watching the video. Leave a like. Tell me what you think in the comments, and until next time, UNO.